Friday, Saturday, or whatever. The first night I went in, I sat in the front row watching him, just pooping my pants and sweating. And I had my saxophone case there, and he didn't even look at George. Didn't even look at me, and he could see back then. He knew it was me. Harold had told him. Nothing happened. So Harold saw me. I guess that was a Thursday night. Harold saw me in school Friday, and he said, "You big dummy! You think he's going to ask you to play? Who are you? You better get your horn out of the case." Can't do it. So I'll never forget. He's up there playing. He's still not looking at me. I get my horn out of the case. He's up there going. He's playing Dedicated to You. I didn't know what it was at the time, except from the Coltrane Hartman record. I mean, I didn't know the tune. And he gets to you because your love on the bridge, and he just pointed at me. I was like, ah. So I stood up, and I think I hit the 5th scale degree. I think I hit my A. It was the concert G. And then, I sort of stumbled up the steps, got through it by ear. And then he goes.
Oh, here we go.
He's playing Cherokee, politically incorrect intro at light speed. Da, 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 da. He's playing, and all of a sudden he looks at me on the bridge, and so I go, oops, because he was in G, he wasn't in B flat. So the first note I played was a beautiful note. Like he was in B, he was in G. So the first chord is, and I played. I was like, ah! So then he gets back to the A section. So I'm kind of looking for notes. Then I find out that the root is a concert G, my A, and then he gives me the first solo. Of course, I think it was Stop Time or something like that. But I got through it. Got through it.
There's like a little, in a lot of your stories and a lot of the way you learn, there's like a sports kind of like sink or swim, competitive kind of thing. Like you're competing to get better, to get the slots in high school.
I guess
like the way Harold Mayburn told you better get ready. I know a lot of people that would have just said, they just wouldn't have gone.
Yeah, well, I like that kind of stuff. I like it when people tell me I can't do something, or watch out, you're going to wipe out. That really gets me going.
Right.
And I really don't care so much about crashing. I just don't want help. And that's a bad thing. Sometimes you got to ask for help. Even when I was a little kid, I'd go to the roller rink. I didn't know how to skate, and the guy in the referee thing that monitors all the kids, I'd fall, and he'd try to pick me up, and I'd throw a temper tantrum and cry, and my mom would have to drag me off the floor because I just refused to have help, and I refused to say that I couldn't do something. I would say that they can all do it, so I can do it. It's going to take me time. I didn't care because then I'd have their butts once I figured it out better than them. It's like with saxophone. See this lump on my thumb?
Yeah.
That I don't play correctly. I don't care. That's what I do. At one point, I just started grabbing the horn like that. My thumb wears through. Doesn't matter. Some things I like to figure out on my own, and some I will listen to people that are total experts too. But they have to be total experts, like Mr. Duxbury. There's no screwing around with it.
Interesting.
I can usually tell when people know what they're talking about. I don't like teachers who try to mystify everything. I like very direct. I like it when somebody says, you are doing that wrong. You are doing that incorrectly. And if you were successful in your endeavor doing it incorrectly, I might give you a pass, but you're doing it wrong and you sound bad. So you have to fix it. And I will respond to that kind of stuff. Yeah, so maybe so. So that was the first professional whatever wipeout experience I had. But Dorothon Kirk was there from PGO, and she started talking to the owners and said, you should have him in on Wednesday nights. And they started having me play on a weeknight. It was so fun. I'd play with Farnsworth, and I don't remember, different pianists, usually Dan Kostelnik, I think.
I know Dan.
Or maybe Travis would play.
Wow, it's interesting.
I don't recall who played bass. Maybe Doug Weiss, maybe, don't know. Or Mike Sisman.
It's funny, all these names of people who were around I know Travis Shook from when he worked with Betty Carter.
Right.
Dan Kostelnik, I grew up playing with him. He was the roommate of Bill Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
You're running in these circles and like kind of brushing shoulders with all these guys.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. But so then I had that gig, and that was fun. You know, I didn't want to play with music. I made sure I